Welcome back. Football is officially back. I'm not back. I'm exhausted. I don't know what's up with me, guys. I got something going on. Like, I'm just cooked. Been burnt out from the year. Got to regain. Been freaking exhausted since Wednesday. Let's talk about it, though. Liverpool Palace. We're going to do the reaction. We're going to talk about everything in this match. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. Obviously, Palace defeat Liverpool on penalties. It was one of the worst penalty shootouts ever. It was just so bad. Let's not talk about the penalties. It's not that relevant. We'll get to it at the end. 83,000 in attendance at Wembley to watch Liverpool, one of the most hyped up teams, trying to go back to back, makes these new signings heading into the new season. And man, we got to talk about it. We got to talk about a lot with this Liverpool team. Now, what I want to say watching this match, for all the anticipation, you spend all this money on these players, and those guys are the players that on your team look like they have been there for so long. Whereas all the Liverpool players that have been there, not all of them, but most of them in this game, I mean, they looked washed. VVD and Salah, the two players, and it's no disrespect, they have been really carrying the team on their shoulders for how long have they been carrying Liverpool now? I mean, a little less than a decade, right? But you get the point. Horrendous. They looked absolutely horrendous today. Salah, this is my problem with Salah as well. For all the greatness that he has done statistically, I didn't think he closed out the season particularly well last season, and starting the season like this, he has these periods in his seasons where it's not working, it's not happening. And like, you look at Liverpool and all the players they brought in and everything they're doing to really help him. Well, man, you got to be yourself. Now, you don't got to play at that level you played last season, but you got to play at least baseline Salah level. And he didn't do that today. He didn't show up. Salah in this final did not show up. And let's not let VVD off the hook, okay? It was a clumsy challenge in the first half. And then the second goal, he really was not in his position well. His decision making today was also horrendous. So look, it could be early season jitters, but you got to ask the question mark with Liverpool. What are we going to get out of these guys this season? Because all the question marks heading into this match today, oh, Ekatike, oh, Wirtz, oh, Frimpong, oh, Kirkes, we spent this much money. I hope they work out. Bro, these guys are studs. If you're a Liverpool fan, you just got to hope that your players that have been playing well over the years, the legends for this club, are going to show up because you had a final today. This was not just some early season exhibition match. You had a final today, and guess who showed up? The players that you spent big money on. And I'll tell you this, if you're a Liverpool fan, oh my goodness, is Hugo Ekatike and Florian Wirtz. That combo this season, oh, it's as a footballer, as somebody who just loves playing the game, I don't see many strikers like Ekatike, a guy that is that fast, that tall, that technical, that quick, that crisp, and his link-up understanding. Watching him in Wirtz, not just the goal that they linked up on, because we could talk about the goal, but watching them throughout the match, the way those two already understand each other. All right, and Wirtz always keeping it so simple. And sometimes with Wirtz, I watch him and I'm like, dude, I hope this guy at some point just gets more selfish because he's such an unselfish footballer. And that's the thing. People will look at the price tag and maybe he hasn't scored a ton of goals in his career, a lot of assists, but his vision, his tech, it's unreal, man. The way he navigates these little areas and gets open. Liverpool fans got to be like dreaming right now. I mean, because they really have themselves a proper cam and a proper striker. Ekatike, I thought I'm not looking at ratings. Just from watching him today, the eye test, he is such a good striker. He is such a good striker. I mean, to open up the first 5 minutes in those two, the way they just went in for the kill right away, the 1-2s, then Ekatike turns, takes another touch, and the finish far post through two defenders right in the perfect spot. It was crisp. It was perfect. After that, throughout the rest of the game, both of them, I'd love to see how simple they keep it. We see so many strikers these days that they're kind of like on their own island. And once they get going, they don't link the play well, or they don't understand the moments to go and not to go. So I really liked what I saw today. And that's the question for Liverpool for me. What are we going to get out of the players like Curtis Jones, like Salah, like VVD, like Gakpo this season? What are we getting out of these guys? Is it going to take them some time to adjust to the crisp pace, the quickness that these two up top are playing with? I don't know. Now, Frimpong today as well. Bro, I don't know if that was a shot or a cross, but man, if it was a shot, kudos to you, man. That was crazy. All right, so Frimpong gets a goal in his debut. Look, Liverpool this season, their struggle is going to be, can we keep a clean sheet? Okay, because watching this team, the amount of chances and the attacking they are going to get as they continue to learn each other, it's really, can Salah and Gakpo keep up with these two in the middle and how quick they're playing at and the speed they're playing at. That's really what I look at with this game, because those two today were ghosts on their own island. Okay, they did not get involved in the game, and it's whether or not they can get involved in the game. So Kirkes and Frimpong, in terms of the debut, they were fantastic. I thought Allison did what he could. You know, the second half, you take a look at the momentum chart here. You could see it. Do we have the momentum chart? I love looking at the momentum because I'm watching the game and it shows me so well. You can see, look at the second half. I mean, it was absolutely ran by Crystal Palace, and that's what happened. I don't know really, Liverpool start the second half really strong, but they never were able to pull away with this match. Now, in terms of the Palace goals, Mateta levels it in the 17th minute off a really clumsy VVD challenge. Mateta also had a weird scenario where, like, Allison just shows how much of a goat he is, bro. He comes off his line right before the penalty, and Mateta tries to dribble around him. Allison is so goated, man. Okay? Makes it look way easier than it actually is to stop a scenario like that. And then Sarr breaks through in the 77th. He gets his goal. And, Liverpool, they start really strong in the first 30. They don't, after that, get much done. And you can see that the team is not a team that has been built to withstand or hold a lot of pressure. They're not defensively, I feel like, as good as Konate and VVD are. Frimpong is a really attacking fullback. And it's just one of those where the midfield is not an ultra defensive midfield either. And so, look, Palace was showing you today that, yeah, you're going to have to go at this team for sure to get a result against them. Liverpool is going to be one of those teams this year, I think, that when they win the games, it's all going to be because they had 3, 4, 5 goals in the match, because they're primed. I know that statistically today, we take a look at the final stats, 12 shots, Palace outshot them, but just watching the flow of Liverpool, they are going to create a ton this season. But any team should be watching what Palace did today against Liverpool. That's how you're going to get a result. And then, we get right to pen. So Liverpool don't have a chance. Look, at the end of the game, it was almost looking like Palace was the team that was begging for the extra time, because Palace was pushing them at the end. The last 5-10 minutes, Liverpool did have their chances. They just couldn't really get anything clean. We were still watching Wirtz trying to get the ball, to Gakpo and Salah, and he wasn't finding his way there at times. So, look, I think for all the preseason, I thought Wirtz was the guy that was like, everybody was like, oh, Wirtz, is he going to show up? These two and let's say these 4, Frimpong, Kirkes, these were the guys that showed up today. You had your veterans, your leaders, VVD and Salah and Allison, and only one of them showed up today, which was Allison. Huge mistakes from VVD today. He's got to be held accountable too, because I know people are going to think I'm just giving the Salah hate. No, but Salah is a player that you guys tell me is a Ballon d'Or player, and other Ballon d'Or players don't ghost like this. They don't ghost like this for 5-6 games. They turn up, they're in the flow every single game. They have one bad game, and the next game they're back at it. So, look, Salah has got to play way better. He's got to find a way to get involved. I still don't think we look at his Liverpool lineup. I don't think it's the best Liverpool lineup that you could put out. I think they've got some players here that they could put in over certain players that I would want to see over certain players, but it's still a hell of a good lineup. So shout out to Palace today. They got a really good result out of this game. They clearly game planned the game really well. I was impressed a lot of what I've seen from them in this game. I also thought, what's his name? Daniel Munoz. If he could link up a couple more of those crosses, because they had a lot of chances through his way in the first half, he just wasn't completing the crosses. But if he was able to connect more of those, this could have been a couple more goals. Allison, 7.7 today. He was brilliant. He really was the reason Liverpool didn't lose in the normal time, because he was saving a lot of shots. And then the penalty shootout. Let's talk about the penalty shootout. Okay, Mo Salah skies his penalty. Come on, man. Come on, man. You cannot be skying a penalty off target as the first penalty. And I tell you, Liverpool has a lot this season to live up to. This is the problem with them now. They have a huge target on their back. They won the league last season. They make these signings who played fantastic today. I keep saying it so you can understand that I'm giving them the kudos they deserve. But they have a lot to live up to. It was like during this penalty shootout, after Salah misses that penalty, it's like you could see all the Liverpool players, the amount of pressure they had on their shoulders. The only player I saw in the whole shootout that didn't look like they had pressure was Allison. Allison just looked like he was like, look, I'm a veteran. I'm doing my job. This is my experience. But the rest of the team looked like they were shaking. I'm like, dude, come on, man. You guys just won the league last season. You got to go out there and win this year with all the signings you made. So it's not the energy I like to see. It sounded like the whole stadium was quiet during this shootout. I mean, that was and then it's like the other pens. Let's talk about the other pens real quick. How do we go to like commentary? Match by match. McAllister's penalty, I think the save was brilliant from Henderson, so I'm not going to slight him for that. It was in the side netting. It was just a great save. Gakpo scores his penalty. Harvey Elliott, that penalty was horrendous, bro. Horrendous. And like, dude, Palace gave him a chance. Eze does some weird run-up where Allison's not buying it, and he saves it. And then Sosa tries to go for the home run finish to win the game, and he misses it. So, dude, you get 2 penalty misses out of Palace. And it's like, dude, how do you miss 3 penalties? You are a Liverpool first-team player. You had the chance of all chances where Twitter would be saying, oh my God, Liverpool is so lucky, because they usually are lucky. Palace misses 2 penalties. Liverpool FC should be winning the shootout. I don't want to hear anything other than that. So you do have some fault in the penalties as well. Just not a great day for the core of the Liverpool team. For the veterans, it's a wake-up call for them. Look, they want to go out there and be great this season. They're going to have to earn it. We just talked about how Salah's coming off his last season as a second prime. Okay? Well, is it over? Or are we going to turn up this year? Because I don't know. Now I don't know. VVD, I love you. You were in the starting 11 of the World 11 last season. You got back up to that peak form. What happened today, my bro? What happened? Konate was the one that was doing great. You were selling Liverpool. So, look, we got to hold people accountable, you know? And I know that people are extra critical. People are already looking at this season to, like, go ham on Sesko and Gyökeres and Ekitike and Wirtz and all these high transfer signings. But when those guys go out there and do a job today, I'm giving them credit. And Liverpool, man, Salah, VVD, you guys got to do better. In terms of this season, you know, let's just talk about now we enter the season and, you know, this is a final and Liverpool loses it. You know, am I worried about Liverpool this season throughout the whole season? I'm not worried. I'm not super convinced this team is going to run away with the first place, though, you know, because they have a defensive liability. They do. This team, again, as I said, this is a team that is going to be assembled to score goals, and they're going to need at least 3 out of the 4 attackers playing well. They cannot be having this format of Gakpo and Salah. I think Gakpo and Salah are top-tier wide players, very great attackers. I think Gakpo specifically is super underrated. But they both need to turn up. You know, this is not going to be a team that if it goes this way today, this team is not going to win the league. If they play like this today, they're not going to win the league. You know, and it doesn't take a rocket scientist to tell you that. So we got to see more out of this Liverpool team. I'm not concerned about them for the season. I think this team will get top 3. I haven't made my predictions yet. But without getting reactionary, yeah, there's work to do. But if you're a Liverpool fan, the positives you can take away from this match, you can leave and just be content with the fact that, hey, we spent all this money on these guys, and we don't have to worry about them. That's always the biggest worry. You spend so much money on X player. Will they turn up? Will they be a flop? Dude, Ekitike is nasty. I mean, bro is nasty. I love Darwin Núñez. I love him. I think he's great. I think he works in certain systems. I think he can be a very effective player. I don't think he was an all-time bad Liverpool player. Ekitike is insane. I mean, he is genuinely such a good striker from just watching the way he moves, how he gets in the channels, and Florian Wirtz is going to be able to really dictate the tempo and the flow for Liverpool. So it's just about getting the best out of the majority of the team, and I think that will come within due time, but I'm not an alarm bell guy. You know, if we got here today, let me tell you this story, and then I'll leave. If we got here today and we saw all-time bad performances from Wirtz, from Ekitike, and maybe only one of the fullbacks play well today out of Kirkaz or Frimpong, I'd be worried. Because I'm like, okay, well, you just spent all this money, and you were supposed to alleviate and help Salah and VVD. And these guys are not helping. You know, because we watched last season with Liverpool, they won the league, but like if you watch them in the Champions League against PSG, they have nothing. They passed the ball to Salah and Prey, and Nuno Mendes has him in prison. So they need more, and they have more, and now it's like, okay, well, with the players that have more, can we bring the GOATs on this team to the level that they need to be at? So, yes, they will get there. VVD and Salah, I'm at least confident 1 out of 2 of them will get back. Maybe it's not going to be the prime they both had, but they need to get more out of these guys. Let's see what happens throughout the season, guys. Liverpool lose the final to Crystal Palace. Not something that I think a lot of people saw coming today. Definitely looks like Liverpool is feeling the pressure of all this hype, all the media, and what they're putting on them this season. Let's see how they respond on Friday against Bournemouth. That's me done, guys. Bye.